everyone, it's Marissa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make an almond flour carrot cake. We have a birthday in our house today. Someone is turning 5 years old, and we wanted to make this really delicious Gaps cake for his birthday. The recipe that I'm using today is based off of one from Gaps Stage by Stage with Recipes by Dr. Becky Plotner. I am changing it a little bit. I am fermenting the almond flour, which makes it fluffier, really improves the texture of the finished cake, and it also breaks that down and makes it easier to digest. So this recipe does take a little bit of planning ahead. 24 to 48 hours before you want to make the cake, you want to mix your kefir and your almond flour together and let those ferment on the countertop for at least 24 hours. 48 hours is preferred. And the amount of almond flour and kefir is 6 cups of almond flour. This is going to make a 2-layer cake. You could cut the recipe in half to make just a single layer cake. And then about 1 cup of kefir. You want it to be a cookie dough consistency. So I started out with 1 cup, and then it was still a little bit on the dry side. Not all of the flour was dampened with the kefir, so I went ahead and added just a little bit more kefir until it was a nice stiff cookie dough consistency. So once that step is done, we are ready to go ahead with the next steps. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna start by putting 2 cups of butter into the bowl of our stand mixer here. It's nice if the butter has been sitting out to soften. Most of ours has been, but we are gonna add a little bit of chilled butter just to bring it up to the 2 cups.
Hey, look at it.
Okay, so that almost makes 2 cups. And then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of raw honey.
That's a lot of honey.
So we're going to put the butter and honey into the stand mixer, and we're gonna whip it until it's nice and fluffy. So now that the butter and honey are finished whipping, I'm going to go ahead and add the next ingredients. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. And then 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl at this point. And then for this next step, we're going to add our fermented almond flour and the eggs, and we're going to alternate 1 egg and about 1 cup of flour at a time. Now the next step is to shred some carrots. I've already chopped some walnuts. I have 2 cups of walnuts here. And for shredding my carrots, I have these handy little mixing bowls here. These were actually sent to me, and I thought that they were pretty neat because of the different lids that they have. So it's a good food storage option for when you want to have, you know, metal, which is food storage option. And then they have these lids that go on them, and then they have these little attachments that fit into this particular lid, which I thought was pretty neat. So for example, there is a grating one that I'm going to use for these carrots. So then you can just grate the carrots right into this bowl, which I thought was pretty nifty. So it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different metal bowls, the lids that go with them, these little grading attachments. There are some measuring cups and then some little silicone tools. So if you're in the market for something like that, I'll put a link in the description box where you can find this same set. But I need 4 cups of grated carrots, so I'm going to start grating these. Alright, so now we're going to take this off. And now we're just going to fold in the grated carrots and the walnuts. And I'm going to fold carefully to try to keep the air in that batter as much as possible while I incorporate the carrots and the walnuts. So as far as properly preparing the nuts for this, for the nut flour and for the walnuts that you add, it's ideal if you can make those yourself, if you can grind almonds into your own flour, either soak or sprout or ferment the walnuts and then dry them before adding them. And I have videos on how to do that, and I'll link some of those down below so that you can see. So the next thing is to just do a couple little things to prepare our pans. So I have some parchment paper here. I'm just going to cut out a circle that will fit on the bottom of my pan. So then I'll just put these into the bottom of my pans, and that just makes it very nice when you're going to remove the cake from the pan later. And then I'm going to just get some butter and just butter the sides of the pan to just help again when we are removing this later. Okay, and then we're just going to evenly divide the batter between the 2 pans. Okay, and then these are going to go into the 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 40 minutes. And to test for doneness, we're going to be looking for that little pillow test where you touch the top and you want to see it gently spring back. So once the cakes are done and they've passed that little pillow test, they spring back when you press the top gently, then you want to just take them out of the oven, and then I like to let them cool in their pan on a cooling rack for 10 minutes and then take them out of the pan and let them finish cooling on the cooling rack. So you want them completely cool before you frost them. For the frosting, I'm making a cream cheese frosting that's sweetened with honey. It takes 24 ounces of cream cheese, and if you're on GAPS, you can get some probiotic cream cheese that doesn't have any fillers or stabilizers or anything in it. You want something that has just milk, cream, and probiotics, and let that sit on the countertop and ferment for at least 24 hours and then use that. And then to that I add 1 cup of butter, 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 12 tablespoons of raw honey, and then 2 pinches of salt, and then whip that all together until it's really nice and fluffy, and then that is our frosting. So 9-inch pans are the best size to go with. We made 8-inch work, but 9-inch I think would be better. And then as you can see, if your room temperature is a little bit warm, it's a little bit of a messy consistency, a messy looking thing, but I promise you it is delicious. So this recipe is great for anybody on or off of the GAPS diet. People off of it will enjoy it too. If you are on the GAPS diet, this is something that you want to have on full GAPS. And Dr. Natasha says that treats like this should be enjoyed occasionally, just as a treat, not a staple while you're on GAPS. But I hope that you enjoyed this recipe, and if you give it a try, let me know how it turns out. Check out that description box for links to these mixing bowls that I mentioned, the places where I like to buy a lot of my ingredients. I also have free ebooks and other goodies. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else who you think would like it, and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.